This video is about getting some practice walking the cup with plate if you don't have access to any pipe. I'll do a video soon on how to hook up a scratch start TIG rig, but you do need a torch with a valve on it in most cases. I'm using a MIG welder today that also does lift arc TIG and stick. I'm going to start off here at 160 amps. It's an air-cooled 17 that I'm using with a valve, and this is a typical setup for walking the cup with an air-cooled rig. Cup size does matter. I'm using a number 10. Here's the problem you run into with walking the cup on plate. This is a rigid head torch, not a flex head, so I've got to either turn the torch upside down, hold it sideways, or something to keep that handle from bumping into the plate. This works pretty good, but I could also turn it upside down, just whichever is more comfortable. Either way is fine, but for this video I think I'll just do it this way. Remember that walking the cup is different than just sliding it or wiggling it. You have to actually roll it like it was a 55-gallon drum going across the shop floor. Since this is scratch start, I'm going to be using the tip of my wire to flick it against the tungsten to get the arc started. That seems to help the tip stay sharp longer. I'm at 160 amps for this first bead, and it is a cold plate, so it's hot enough, but I believe it will go better if I bump it up 10 amps, and so I'll do that in just a second. A lot of times I'll shoot the arc shot separately. That's why you can see that bead next to this one. All right, let's bump it up to 170 now. You probably won't see a huge difference, maybe just slightly faster travel speed, but it seems to be blending into those toes just a little bit nicer than at 160 amps, and the plate is kind of warm by now. Whether you're trying to learn how to walk the cup, or maybe you're just a little bit out of practice like me. I used to do this all the time and hadn't done it for a living in 30 years or more. But I can already feel it getting a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more natural. Sometimes you just need some arc time to shake the rust off. Well, you can only see one bead right here, one weave. I actually welded 3 of them. I don't know what happened to that footage, but there are the 3. On the far right is the 160 that was a cold plate, and then in the middle 160 plate kind of warmed up, and then I went up to 170 amps, and you can kind of see the 170 looks a little bit nicer. Well, let's take a look at some freehand now. This is the cover pass on a practice plate, so I've already welded the root pass, a hot pass, and a fill pass, so this thing's pretty hot. 120 amps right now using 1/8 filler metal, ER70S6. I'm freehanding this weld with a TIG finger on, letting it glide me up the edge of that plate. And I've got it on in such a way that I've got several thicknesses of material insulating my glove hand from that hot metal. So I'm not feeling a thing right here. I like walking the cup just as good as the next guy, but sometimes you just can't walk the cup.
Right now I want to show you a whole bunch of different applications using the TIG finger, different positions, different shapes, different material types. Might give you some ideas on whether you could use one of these or not.
TIG welding requires a steady hand, and you don't always have a place to prop that's convenient. But if you've got a TIG finger in your pocket, you've got a prop in your pocket. You can prop right next to the weld, right on the hot metal. You can hang in there for a really long time without ever even feeling any heat. That lets you focus on making a good weld instead of how bad your fingers are burning. Maybe you can relate to this. I know I can. I've hung in there too long when things are going well, trying to finish a weld and not make an extra tie-in to make the weld looking good, and I wind up with a bad burn on my knuckle or whatever finger I'm propping on just because I didn't want to stop. I don't wear a TIG finger for every single job I do, but it gives me a lot of options. Some welds get really hot really quick, like aluminum. If you know, you know. Whether you're up overhead, out of position, or on the bench, it's going to help you hold a steady hand, especially on small bore pipe. I walk the cup when I can, but there's times when you can't. There's stuff in the way. With a TIG finger in your pocket, you can freehand and still be steady, even on preheated pipe. Imagine trying to prop on a 5F aluminum test like this without a TIG finger, just with your bare glove. After half an inch, it would be so hot you wouldn't be able to do it. With a TIG finger, you can make the whole run, not ever get hot. If you've got a 6G pipe test in your future, you'd like to have a TIG finger in your pocket. There are certain root pass techniques that work better without any side-to-side motion, and that happens easier with a TIG finger than it does walking the cup. Just another option. On long runs of aluminum, you can drag that TIG finger right next to the weld. Your fingers will never get hot, and you can be steady and smooth. TIG finger comes in a regular size as well as an XL size for people with big fingers, or you can slip 2 fingers in it for added protection on those really hot jobs. Made in the USA by friends and family, made from material made in the USA.